Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tech, and today I'm going to talk about the Apple A15 Bionic chipset. I will review this chipset completely by its specs, its performance, its Antutu benchmark, 3D wildlife and other aspect ratio of this chipset. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start guys. In this video, I'm going to tell you its complete spec sheet. So the Apple A15 Bionic chipset is an 6-core chipset that was announced on September 14, 2021. And it is manufactured using 5nm processor technology, and it has 2 core at Avalanche at 3223 MHz at 3.2 GHz and 4 cores at Blizzard at 1820 MHz, that means 1.8 at Blizzard and 3.2 at Avalanche. Its CPU performance is almost 99% and its gaming performance is almost 96%, but its battery life is also 96%. The 98 review score also got the 98%, so let's start about its benchmarks. Also, I'm going to tell you some crazy details about this processor, so make sure you watch till the end. As you guys can see on the screen right now, its Antutu benchmark shows the score of 8,1997. That is amazing scores on a smartphone. The CPU score is 2,16,265 and the GPU score is almost 3,39,795. Almost beats the Snapdragon 888 and the Snapdragon 870 and Dimensity 1200 and Exynos 2100. Now let's talk about its Geekbench 5 scores. The single core performance shows the 1752. That is amazing score for the Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max. It is because A15 Bionic chipset is used in Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max. Its multi-core shows 4736 score. Amazing score, beating the Exynos 2100, beating the Snapdragon 888 and 888 Plus. Now let's talk about a 3D Mark. The 3D Mark wildlife performance shows 94 scores. That means 9594. Its stability is also at 80% and its graphics test also passing and crashing other processor, gaining the 57 FPS. And it's also used in Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's also used on Apple iPhone 13 series. But as you guys can see, the iPhone 13 Pro Max scores most from the Apple iPhone 13 Pro because 13 Pro Max gains more RAM. So more RAM and more stability and more NVMe storage goes to Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max, beating the Apple iPhone 13 Pro. And yeah, a lot of you guys are confused in whether you should buy iPhone 13 Pro or 13 Pro Max because they all are the same, but it's not. In my perspective, the Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max is the best device as you can buy on the market right now if you are an Apple user. But I will not recommend the 13 Pro because $200 is not the worth money, because 13 Pro Max can outgain the 13 Pro and any aspect ratio like the battery, like the screen, like the performance, and also like the storage and camera. So I always recommend the Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max if you have a nice budget. Now let's talk about its CPU performance. As you guys can see, the architecture is based on 2 cores at the high performance on 3.2 GHz. That's made on Avalanche. The 4 power efficient cores made on Blizzard. That is 1.8 GHz. And also you guys can see they are gaining this performance by only giving 6 cores. And L2 cache memory is also 8 MB and the processor is fabricated on 5nm. The transistor count is 15 billion. Wow. Also the TDP shows 6 watt of only power consumption. The graphics, they are using their own custom graphics, that is Apple GPU, but the GPU frequency is also 1200 MHz. That's mean 1.2 GHz. That's why they outperform the Snapdragon 888 and MediaTek Dimensity 1200 and Exynos 2100. The shading units is also 604. Now let's talk about the RAM. The RAM, they are using the LPDDR4X. You all guys confused it why they are using LPDDR4X instead of LPDDR5X. But let me tell you, the memory frequency is 4.2 gigahertz, outbeats the Snapdragon 888 LPDDR5 RAM. That is 27 megahertz and 2700 megahertz. But now they are using the 4.2 gigahertz, and also the max memory bandwidth is 47 gigabytes per second. The max size of this Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max is only 8 GB and with the high variant of 8 GB and 1 TB of storage. The multimedia, they are using their own custom NPU neural engine, and the storage type is NVMe. I'm a little disappointed to see that Apple A15 Bionic chipset does not support 8K recording and 8K playback, but it's alright. The video capture is kept on 4K at 60 FPS, and video playback is also kept on 4K at 60 FPS. And the video codecs and audio codecs are the same as the previous generation. Now let's talk about the connectivity. The Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max uses the A15 Bionic chipset that supports 5G. It's the plus point for the Apple user that does have 5G supported. And also the 4G support goes to LTE Cat 24. That means you have the better upload and download speeds. And they are also using Wi-Fi 6 instead of 6.1. That is the latest version of Wi-Fi. And also uses the Bluetooth version 5.0. instead of 5.3, 5.2. That's the latest version of the Bluetooth. And this it is the flagship level performance chipset, and also announced on September 2021. So that was my full specs on the Apple A15 Bionic chipset. I also showed the Antutu benchmark and pretty much every stuff. So if you are an Apple user and you want to buy an Apple iPhone 13 Pro or 13 Pro Max, so I will always recommend the 13 Pro Max because it's the peak variant and also have more RAM, more camera, more stability, more performance instead of 13 Pro that does not have any other feature that is in the 13 Pro Max. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed this video, then a sub to the channel will be awesome. And also leave a like and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. It's Tech, and see ya in the next video.